Hey, everybody in HP Chemistry. This is Mr. Trimuka saying hello and hoping everything is well with you. So, anyway, going to kind of preview what's going on this week in HP Chemistry. Kind of let you know what you can expect, see what's going on there, and hopefully we'll be in good shape. All right. Now, kind of looking back to last week here, I know last week was the what shall I call it? The conclusion of our solutions unit, chapter 14. Had the test scheduled for late last week, Friday to be specific. It was open through Sunday night or tonight. I guess I'm recording this on Sunday night, so whatever. And hopefully you haven't taken care of that at this point. Now, if you have not, and something you just weren't ready for, you had some other things come up. I know that happens. I get it. No big deal. I know a couple of you that have, had some other things come up, and I get it. That's life at this point, right? And so talk to me, get a hold of me. We'll get that taken care of. The due dates that I'm giving you are more or less suggestions. I want you to stick to them. Most of you, the vast majority of you, are definitely meeting those. Many of you are getting things done well in advance. Keep it up. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I prefer that. I think it's great. But if you're behind, don't sweat it. Come up with a plan. Let's figure it out. We're good. All right, and I'll open up what you need to. So if that comes up, talk to me. Whether that's getting a hold of me through email, whether that's talking to me at Google Meets. Remember, that's every weekday, 11 to 1. Sometimes I'm even on there a little bit later than 1. You can always check it out and see what happens. And, if you're a little late to the party, if we need to even work out something special, then we will with that. Okay. But either way, we got the old Google Meets going on. So be there if you can. Now, that being said, I'm going to put solutions in the rear view window at this point. I assume it's in the past for the majority of us. So the last 3 weeks here in HP Chemistry, we are dealing with something called acids and bases. This is what we finished the year up with every year in chemistry and HP Chemistry in particular. And unfortunately, I've had to cut out a couple of chapters worth of work, which are usually really, really fun. Reaction rates and something called equilibrium reactions or reversible reactions. Usually really cool stuff, but it's just kind of the situation we're in this year, which totally sucks. But we're all trying to get through it, right? So let's do that. Let's finish strong in these last three weeks, and we should be good. Now, when it comes to acids and bases, something that hopefully you'll get something real, something good out of and whatnot. It's something that chemistry, geeks like me absolutely love. But either way, let's get through this here. Basically, what you're going to be doing here is for the first couple of weeks or so, going through what you might call formative assignments, right? You're used to this. You learn some stuff. You do some work to kind of show that you know what you know and turn it in, and we move on, right? Okay. So got that. Then the final week, so the first week of June there, is going to be your summative. It's not going to be a traditional test. It's going to be a lab. It's basically a virtual lab, but it lets you mess up here or there, which is kind of interesting. But I'll talk about that more later on here. Maybe not right now. I might touch on it a little bit before I end here, but I'll talk about that in a week or so. Okay. Now, the whole thing is in Schoology, like I've put together before. I will have my more or less weekly message in the extended learning folder, which of course you see right there, right? Okay. And then what you're going to find that the acid base material is in a green folder, chapter 18, because that's what it would be in our book. And you're going to want to access everything through there. Okay. So if we go back here to the extended learning folder though, it's thinking, I think. Anyway, we'll get to that. And of course, all my Google Meet stuff, if you weren't sure, yeah, it's there. It always has been. So you should be all right. But anyway, you got the week 7 here. Okay, going through this week that starts the May 18th here. And of course, read everything. Read everything you find there in any of these folders. Super important that you understand what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, and whatnot. The material here is it's basically 2 assignments, video notes for one of them. You have PDF files. You should be able to annotate that with your Chromebook fairly well with the options that I've provided for you earlier in this whole distance learning thing. Print and photograph if you want. That's your job. That's up to you, not your job. That's completely your call on that. Okay. So just do that, whatever it may be. The final thing that was not supposed to happen. I have no idea what happened there. But the final thing this week is a lab. It's called the Acid Base Indicator Lab. It's much more interesting when you do it in person, but I ran into school. Shh, don't tell anyone. And I kind of performed the lab. Okay. Just went through it the best I could. I hope you can see everything that I've tried to present to you on that. It goes about 20 minutes. You're going to want to have the answer sheet, the PDF, either printed out or on your screen available somehow, so you can just fill it out as you go. You're just taking data, you're answering a few questions, and if you're really insightful of the information I'm giving you, I answer a few of those questions kind of for you. So pay attention to what's happening. But anyway, that's just to kind of get used to what the heck is going on with acids and bases and the whole concept behind indicators. Now, one thing with acids and bases, pay attention to the Bronsted-Lowry theory of acids and bases. It's the most useful one, and you will hear that again in any other chemistry class that you take beyond ours. Okay, it is the primary acid-base theory that places use, including colleges. So anyway, so you got that. That should be no big deal. Then you got week 8, of course. This is pH, acid base, pH and acid base strength. You'll notice I have nothing in these folders, and that's by design. That's because I have everything, as I mentioned before, back in the normal, if you want to call it, folder for Schoology. Whoops, that's not quite what I wanted. Sorry. In the normal folder for Schoology with all the chapter work, if you want to call it that way. Okay. But anyway, so if we go through that again, it says, oops, I got to fix that. It says something about iPad turn-in. We haven't had those for a little while. Anyway, got some videos, video notes. Check them out. You're going to need those to go through and, of course, make the submission. These should check off once you've made the submission. Do things in order. I know sometimes things ain't working. Do things in order. That's really what I'm looking for if you want full credit to show me that you've understood things, okay? I don't have a key for either of these things because I think that if you're following along, you shouldn't need one. You're going to figure it out, okay? Week 2 really starts with strong versus weak acids and bases. 2 parts to that. Same thing with the pH and something called pOH. Weak and strong is a way of categorizing acids and bases. It has everything to do with how they react with water. pH is really the concentration of certain ions in acids and bases. So these are 2 completely different things. Strength versus pH, different things, okay? So be careful about that because otherwise you're going to have some crazy misconceptions that are just going to goof you up. One thing I'm just going to say about the guys who make these videos 3 through 6, their humor tends to be a little bit corny sometimes, but they could do a really good job of explaining things. So, they're gonna rip on some of your high school relationships. I'm just gonna say it. Sorry, but they do a good job, so that's why I'm keeping them there. And that's all there is to it. So just get over it. Smile, laugh, move on. Anyway, so you got this little assignment here. I'm gonna open it up just because I'm gonna show you a little bit here. Okay. If it ever opens up. This is just in case you decide to get a little bit of a head start on this, okay? Because that first week worth of stuff, it's really pretty quick, okay? Really pretty quick. I think you'll find, most of you'll find that's pretty easy in the grand scheme of things. Oh my goodness sakes, I don't know what just happened there. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy in the grand scheme of things here. So let me try this again, pH calculations. Normally it just pops up, but apparently, well, I'm not going to go through my Google Drive folders, whatever. You're just going to have to see what it's all about. Read the directions here. I don't anticipate any issues there. If you don't read the directions, you're going to do more work than you need to. There's an incentive. So check that out. I should have the key for that put in the Schoology before any of you get to needing it. So we should be good to go there, right? But anyway, that's just kind of working ahead a little bit. It's not necessary that you start this stuff this week, but considering next week is a little bit of a shorter week, you may want to. I'd recommend it personally. But anyway, there we go. I will talk a little bit more about stuff beyond next week, okay? Or into the middle of next week, something called neutralization when the time is right. I'm not going to worry about it now, though. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. Get that extra help if you need it. That's really all I have. So I hope that things go well for you this week, and have a good one.